Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. As always, it's very delightful to have you on the call. So to begin with, let's take a few minutes to gather thoughts back into the basket of thoughts, into the bundle, and then set fire to the bundle by placing it into the fire of transformation. So withdraw attention into the pure awareness, the simple consciousness I am. Simple as it is all-inclusive, all-encompassing, pure being. If consciousness was not, nothing else would be. So consciousness includes all thoughts, emotions, and actions. All is dependent upon this pure consciousness, which is so important and often so overlooked. What is consciousness? You can tune in with consciousness by taking note of your sense of I. Everyone has the sense of I. It's just that we don't usually recognize the sense of I in an isolated environment entirely by itself. The sense of I is usually associated with this or that. I am this, I am that, I am so and so, I am such and such. Now, if you will, take note of the sense of I alone, without any attachments. Just the sense of I. To the best of your ability, hold firmly to this sense of I with your attention. And holding the sense of I, trace it inward to see from whence is this sense of I. What is it? See if you can find a location for the sense of I, an abiding place for the sense of I. Where does this dweller in time and space live? all that you can find is just pure awareness. But this pure awareness is not individual. This pure awareness is universal in nature. This means it has no beginning, nor does it have an ending. Very simply, that which has no beginning has no ending. And this universal awareness, which is the awareness that shines in the self, shining foremost as the ego, but it is not the ego, it is prior to the ego. And it can be seen that the ego is nothing but a thought. It's the image that we have of ourselves based upon the history of the body and mind. So this body-mind is who and what we take ourselves to be. But are we the body-mind? Look and see. The body is not with us in our awareness in dreamless sleep. In fact, the body and the mind do not even exist in dreamless sleep. We may wish to argue, oh yes, my body and mind exist in dreamless sleep. But do they? What proof do you have? They're not with you in your awareness in dreamless sleep, but you're present in dreamless sleep. Your existence does not cease in dreamless sleep. But your cognizance of body-mind does not exist in dreamless sleep. The proof? You can be quite ill or in physical pain while awake. But in dreamless sleep, there is no illness, nor dreamless pain, while in dreamless sleep that you're at the effect of, only in the awaking state. You may argue, yet my body exists in dreamless sleep because people tell me that it does. But you see, even those people do not exist in dreamless sleep. But you exist. This simple proof that the sense of I, the ego, the self-image, is not who we are, is so seldom seen. But now in this company, see it for yourself. Recognize it for what it is. This is very significant. It is very important to your transcendental well-being. Transcendental meaning ending this trance of body-mind identification. We all are the pure awareness prior to the body-mind. The true self is the universal awareness without the sense of individuality. Simply stated, God dwells in us as us. This means that our true being, our true nature, is not different from that of God. Are you ready to accept this truth? This is the truth that the Master Jesus said, when known, will make you free. How do we awaken to this truth? Very simply, by withdrawing the sense of I into the sourcing awareness. This is the method and way brought to us by the great sage, Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi. Do this now for yourself. Draw your attention back into the pure awareness of being, the simple I am, which is not different from God. And be quiet and still in this pure being of the self for the next few minutes. as we continue in this silence, in this stillness, of the self, this pure awareness of being. Let's give attention to these conscious words of Sri Bhagavan Ramana in our daily messages of the past week. Beginning last Sunday, March 30th. Sri Bhagavan speaking. When there is no I, that is, no sense of I, there is no karma, no destiny. Monday's message. Until realization, there will be karma or destiny. That is, there will be action and reaction. After realization, there will be no karma, no reaction, no destiny, and no world. You see, we all have the false notion, usually, that the world has solid objective reality independent of our consciousness of it. Very few there are who recognize that the world is a product of thought. The thought of the one who is perceiving his or her world. But the world is nothing more than a dream, a long dream, no different in principle than the dream we have if we dream while asleep on our pillow. Just like the dream world is a product of our mind and our thought, this world is no different. Everything in manifestation has begun with an idea. It is maintained by ideas, sustained by ideas, and can be dissolved by the idea of its dissolution. But we seldom see this, or we're usually so identified with the body that we don't recognize it. Tuesday's message. Unless the doer of all actions, which is the ego, is annihilated through inquiry, the perfect peace of supreme bliss, which is the result of karma yoga, cannot be achieved. Karma yoga is the action intended intentionally to bring about union with the source. But it cannot be achieved unless the ego, the sense of I as a separate individual, is annihilated. Some are afraid of this process because they do not understand that the annihilation of the sense of I is not the annihilation of the being, but is the freeing of the being into the pure being of the self that we all are. Wednesday's message. Destiny or karma is the result of past actions, prior actions, the product of prior actions. And Thursday's message, whatever this body is to do and whatever experiences it is to pass through was already decided when it came into existence. The end of Bhagavan's daily messages, or the daily messages of the teaching, or the statements of Sri Bhagavan Ramana. During an ISIT program, an intensive self-inquiry training program, back in August of 1999, which is about, 9 years ago, I gave a talk. And for today's message, I've extracted from the transcript of that talk, or excerpted from it, a few words to explain or to just talk about our looking at the condition of the world and life as it is manifesting and appearing in the world, and how so many are incorrectly assuming that happiness comes from the world. Look to see for yourself if you are under the misconception that happiness is from the world. Many think that they were born only to have happiness in the world. Well, the fact of the matter is we were born because we're in hell. We were already having some kind of so-called happiness, evidently, to be born here. Why do you think the sages have come? To relieve us, to free us from this plane, from this dimension. This is one of the lesser hells. Thank goodness it's a lesser one. Are you ready to be free from it? Or do you not yet recognize that it is a hell? Look and see. Tell yourself the truth. Where are you? What are you seeing? Do you read the newspaper? Do you watch the news on TV? Is it the message of a happy place? Is it? Are the trends of life in this dimension, on this plane, indicating that we're going more and more into happiness? Is it?
No.
Is the future of this plane promising more happiness?
No.
Is it?
No.
It would be probably wise if we pull our heads out of our posterior, our anal sphincter, and take a look around. This article is entitled, "There is No Happiness in This World." I'm not saying there's not happiness. I'm saying there's no happiness in this world. So let me read. You may have a copy of this article by just tuning in with our website. It won't be on there right away, but it'll probably be there within a week, and then you can download it. Okay, the article. Again, this was originally written from a talk, or written recently from a talk that I gave in 1999, and the situation has not gotten any better. In fact, it may have gotten a little worse. Everything that has happened in your life up to now has brought you to this point, to this place, to right here, right now. Everything you've done, every thought, every emotion, every action has brought you to this moment, to this place. Really get it. Really get this. Can you recognize what's going on here in the message that we in Aham have to share? If you really get this teaching and the conscious process we share, then you've reached the end of your spiritual journey. You've completed it. And this is your final lifetime. This is your last incarnation, but only if you get it. If you do, you can get off the wheel, the unending wheel of karma. How long have you been on the wheel? I'll tell you. About 50 million lifetimes, give or take a million or two. So are you ready yet to complete the cycle? The fun house of this amusement park called worldly life is still going on, you know. You can still ride all the rides. It's still going full speed, and you can stay in the park and indulge in it as long as you want to. The House of Horrors is also still open. Do you want to go through the House of Horrors again? Is that what interests you? Did you ever take a child to the amusement park like to Disney World? The kid doesn't want to leave, does he? Just one more ride, Mama. Please, Daddy, one more ride. One more ride, Uncle Bill or Aunt Susie. Isn't that right? Pretty soon, your feet are really hurting. You're getting a little tired. And you say, no. It's time to go. Well, in my own case, I've ridden every ride in the park. Have you? Are you ready to go home? As far as I'm concerned, they can close the park. Are you ready for the amusement park to close? Are you beginning to get it? Is it yet time to stop? You see, Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world." So have you gotten that yet? That this is one of the lesser hells? A beautiful lady named Corrie ten Boom wrote a book entitled The Hiding Place. She and her sister were both prisoners together at Auschwitz, the Nazi concentration camp for Jews. They were actually Christians, but because their family helped the Jews by hiding them from the Nazis, the family was found out and sent to Auschwitz in Poland. Her sister died in the concentration camp. The book contained the story of their terrible ordeal. They were very spiritual people. Her sister became enlightened at the time of her death in the concentration camp. Even with all the ill treatment she endured, she died with a beautiful smile on her face. She was absolutely tranquil at her death. Her body radiated pure peace. What she realized before her death was, this is hell. I just got it. I don't have to worry about going to hell. I am already in it now. This life is hell. We're all in hell. Not just those here in the concentration camp, but all of us in the world. Her enlightenment came with that, and she was able to transcend it. This world is one of the lesser hells. This world seems beautiful, doesn't it? That is its apparent nature. Watch a sunset. Watch a sunrise. Go into the woods and listen to the animals, the birds chirping. It seems so beautiful. So we philosophize how beautiful it is, saying, "Oh, life is so beautiful." Well, is that really true? No. It's an absolute lie, a misconception. Tell the people right now in Turkey, understand this was written in 1999. Tell the people in Turkey who are under those buildings, the earthquake victims, that life is beautiful. It was a horrendous earthquake at that time. Tell the people in Kosovo that life is beautiful. This was right after the war there. And currently, tell the victims of Iraq or Afghanistan the world is beautiful. Or the starving people of Darfur in Sudan, Africa, or those in Rwanda, Is settling disputes by war reasonable? Is it? No. It is insanity. Are you getting what I'm saying? Human life in itself is not beautiful. You must awaken to the true self and realize the true nature of pure being. Then you can yourself see that it does not have solid, objective independence, reality independent of your consciousness of it. It is seen then as an expression or outpicturing of your own mind. Understand where I'm coming from. Hear what I'm saying. This is not philosophy. I'm not talking about philosophy here. I'm talking about the realization and abidance in the true self. Just as Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world." Understand what he was saying. And live in the world, but not of the world. That's what enlightenment is about. If you're trying to make your life happy, trying to make your life better, while living in and from the world's principle, then you're just throwing a bucket of septic tank water against the wind. I cleaned that up. It will fly right back on you. See and understand what I'm talking about. I'm telling it like it is, candidly. I say it straight. I've lived a full life and experienced just about everything worth experiencing in this life. And I can assure you there is no happiness in this world. None whatsoever. Yes, there's much pleasure in the world, but that's not happiness. Pleasure will quickly turn into pain. If you happen to have good karma and have good life experiences, that's wonderful. You may think there's happiness and heaven on earth. However, pretty soon it's going to turn back again into the usual conflict, confusion, contradiction, and chaos of this world. You had better understand what I'm saying, even if you don't believe me. For your sake, understand it. I'm not saying you can't be happy. That your life can't be beautiful. But not if you're expecting it from the world. If you're expecting it from the world, you're looking in the wrong place. And you're not going to receive it from there. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not saying you can't be happy. I'm saying happiness is your true nature, which is seen only when you awaken. But you must awaken to realize your true nature. Then you may live in the self as the self. This is living in God, who lives in you as you. So by practicing self-inquiry, the most direct way for awakening to pure self-awareness, taught by Aham, you can make rapid progress in awakening and thereby live in true happiness. Namaste.
Namaste.
Now, in this consciousness, I hope that it didn't disturb you out of the peace of the silence. Let's see for yourself. Take note of awareness. See for yourself, awareness is prior to consciousness, which is prior to the mind, which is prior to thought, or in which thought occurs. Consciousness is before anything else is, and without consciousness, nothing else is. Consciousness is the sense of I. Return the sense of I to the pure awareness, the pure being that is the supreme being, the one reality that we all are. Abide in this awareness. This is the location of peace, freedom, and joy, in which one never needs to be at the effect of anything occurring in the world or even in the mind. Abiding in this awareness, get it, it breathes me. This awareness, it breathes me. See for yourself, you cannot even control your own breath. You can't control your own heartbeat. It beats your heart. It breathes your body. It is the beauty in a rose, the perfume in a rose. It is the beauty in nature itself. It was that nose blow. It's the purity of everything. Just see it and be it and live as this awareness. Let go into and function from this awareness. All right, now let's remain in this awareness with eyes open. Be here present, capable of functioning and relating and communicating with one another in peace and love and joy. Namaste.
Namaste.
All right, does anyone have anything you'd like to share or any questions? What's the time, Jim?
8 minutes.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, 9 minutes.
Okay, we have 9 minutes to take any questions. Anyone in the room that would like to ask a question, please come to the chair and voice your question so that everyone on the call will be able to participate and enjoy what you're having to share. Okay, anyone?
Yeah, Ramana, Millie.
All right, who's this?
Millie.
Hello, Millie.
Hello. I have this question. You know when you said before good karma? And what does it mean that someone has been very much living within the self?
Yes.
So, like before you said, karma is you, what did you say before? You said before karma can be, if good karma is that there's no destiny anymore because you live within the self, so you're not the doer anymore. Is that what you mean?
If you are living in the pure awareness, then you have no karma. Karma attaches itself only to the body. So if you're abiding in the awareness without identification with the body and the mind, then you have no more karma. Now the body has karma, but are you your body, Millie?
I beg your pardon?
Are you your body?
No.
Right. So if you are not identified with your body, if you have awakened and realized that you're not your body, then, excuse me, then you will recognize that the karma that you have set in motion in previous actions will continue to work itself out. But that's not you. If you've awakened to the self you are, then you're living free of karma, for you're free of the body.
I see.
You got it?
Yeah, it's clear now.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your question, Millie. All right, anyone else?
Yes, Ramana, this is George from Los Angeles.
Okay, George in Los Angeles.
Hello, good morning. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. I wanted to ask you, there's a lot being said right now about a new heaven and a new earth.
You're going to have to
Hang
wait a
on,
minute.
George.
You're going to have to speak a little more slowly, George. I have a hearing
A lot's
defect.
being said now about a new heaven and a new earth.
All right, go ahead.
So, the new heaven, I understand with my mind, is abiding in pure being as the new heaven. And the new earth, I understand, is something which I don't do. Nobody does. It's simply once we are in that awareness, then it is done to us. There's something about the being in pure awareness which creates a more harmonious physical reality. Could you say something about a new earth?
Well, the new earth, as you just said it, it's you're quoting Eckhart Tolle, right?
Not really. I'm feeling it. I'm sort of sensing.
Have you been on his calls, or have you read his book?
Yes, some of them. I've read. I've read most of his material.
Okay.
And I find it just so. Like this is a step further. This call with you is a step further. It's getting right down to the nitty-gritty of.
Can you wait a minute?
Hang on. If this call takes it a step further.
Okay.
Okay, George.
I'm sorry.
Wait.
Yes, I feel strongly that this call
You got it.
Could you say something about a new...
Well, you just said it. You want me to say back what you just said? Because you just said it. When you're living in the pure awareness, when you're living in the pure awareness of being, as the pure awareness of being, as the self, the pure self, which it happens to be the supreme reality, which is all-encompassing, undifferentiated, pure being. When you're living in this awareness as this awareness, there is no mind. Then all actions are pure actions. Everything is done from and as the purity of being. You might say it's God's actions thereafter. And now everything will come back to its purity as it was, you might say, in the original creation as nature. However, you see, the planet, we're going into a lot of stuff that we don't have time to cover here. The planet is here for the souls who need to evolve or awaken to the true nature of being, and some of these souls that are evolving have already reached a pretty low ebb. And so what they're bringing in is a lot of conflict, confusion, and contradiction, which is what we are seeing as life is unfolding as it presently is on the planet. But when we awaken and get prior to all of that, then we don't contribute anymore to that. We're really able to kind of contribute to the transformation of all of that. You see, the problem is we're identified with form. All of us are primarily identified with form. Are you identified with your body as though that's you?
I have patches which are not.
He has touches when he's not.
Well, being touch all the time when you're not. See, to the best of your ability, I'm saying. I can understand, I have compassion, and to what extent we still remain identified with the body. But look, we identify with the body when we indulge in the world. If we're not indulging in the world and in the things of the world, then we are not indulging in the body. Look to see to what extent you are feeding the body mind. You're indulging in the pleasures of this world, looking for more that feed the form of this body. That's the problem. And if we cease from that problem, then we will then begin to see a new earth. Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. I'm sorry I took up all the time this morning, primarily by the long reading. All right. All right.
This is Tara.
It's Tara.
Okay, Tara.
I just wanted to tell you thank you. This all fits together so beautifully this morning. I didn't make a reservation because I had no idea I was going to be calling. And the messages that flow perfectly. The strange thing is, I know this. I just didn't know that I knew this.
Well, thank you, Tara, for your sharing. And happy to have you on the call.
Thank you.
All right, we have 2 minutes left. That's not much time. Is there anyone that have anything short, as Tara did? I got a fly here we're going to send to a higher dimension.
I have just a quick question. this wheel of karma, can we get off it just by practicing meditation or following bhakti yoga?
Only inquiry, not just regular meditation where you're into duality. You have to dissolve your identification with duality.
Thank you.
All right? Understand that Bhagavan Ramana brought to the world the way to get off the wheel. All of the methods are only to purify the mind. They're not to get off the wheel in this lifetime. We're talking about getting off the wheel in this lifetime. Now, if you really want to stay in the amusement park, then practice regular meditation. That in turn, will keep you, it'll purify the mind, but you'll have a few more rounds on the wheel, okay? But if you want to get off in this lifetime, only inquiry will do it. I know that pisses a lot of people off to hear that one. You see? Oh my goodness, you've got the only way? No, I don't have the only way. Bhagavan Ramana had the only way. And I'm sharing with you the only way. Only inquiry will give you the way to get off in this lifetime as a process. Okay, namaste.
Namaste. Quite a crew.
That was what?
Quite a crew.
Yeah. Let's pull this around if you don't mind. Okay, we will have a little break. After the break, we will reconvene, for those of you who are interested in doing so, in the dining room, in the main dining room. And then I will be happy to take any questions that anyone may have, or anything that you would like to share. And the rest of you who wish to leave, you may take leave at this time. And all of you are welcome to stay for lunch. We'd like to have you. Okay? Namaste.